They still drink water when it's raining.
They don't. They drink water from the sky.
They hold their beaks open. Why don't you go harvest some beans?
I'll go.
How about they... I will get the chickens new water if there's an egg in there. If not, they can suffer the consequences.
Oh my god.
I'll harvest some
Hey there, this is another video just showing what we do with our harvest after we bring it in to our kitchen. The clip you just saw was one night we were making dinner and I needed some more green beans. So Steve went out and collected the green beans and I got those all washed up and ready for dinner that night. And I have these cucamelons here that need to get washed up. For this dinner, I was just trying to use so many of the fresh vegetables that we had from our garden that day. And I've got all these cucamelons and I need to get the green beans cooked up. I took the cucamelons and the spoon tomatoes and I made a salad with them. I mixed together some spoon tomatoes, cucamelon, salt, pepper, cut up mozzarella, Italian dressing, and I mixed it all together and I let them sit in the refrigerator until dinner time, and it was really good. So now I've got to go through and sort all of the harvest from that day. I've got tons of cherry tomatoes and bell peppers, and I just need to rotate through everything because we harvest underripe tomatoes usually. I need to make sure that the ripe ones get moved pretty much to the front of the line so that I know to use them up much quicker, and the underripe ones have time to fully ripen. So here are the kiwi berries. We got 1.67 pounds of them. So excited to get them, and I wanted to get these washed up as quickly as possible. So I removed the stems. I'd never washed kiwi berries before because I've never grown them before, and I really wasn't sure how long it was going to take. It was a little bit tedious getting all of the stems off and any of the flower part that looked kind of tough. But once I did, I just washed them up in our salad spinner, got them dried up, and left them out. Any of the ones that were left over from not eating, we ate a good amount of them, I wanted to freeze. So I put them out in an even layer on the cookie sheet and got them into our deep freezer to freeze separately. So when I get them in a bag, they don't get all stuck together. So it's kind of like the same thing over and over again where I have to go through the tomatoes, wash them, get them either frozen or cooked down. kind of like what I showed in the last video, I had tomatoes that I had roasted up, and I did the same thing here where I had a couple trays of cherry tomatoes that I roasted up and pureed to make a sauce. And this time, after I pureed them, I added them to the food mill just to get rid of any of the extra seeds. Once the seeds and everything were removed from the cherry tomatoes, I added them to these quart-sized jars just to get stored in our refrigerator until I decide to use them for something else. Then the rest of the tomatoes went into this pot here to be cooked down. So it's the next day. This is what the kiwi berries look like after I froze them. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with these yet, but I knew I didn't want them to go bad, and I want to be able to see if I can find a different recipe to use with them. So they will sit in our freezer. I have so many berries that we grew this year. I might end up just turning it into a jam. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, they're just going to be in our freezer for when I have time to do that. Now I'm going to take out all of the sauce that I made up yesterday. You can see the water separated. In this book, I'm going to be making just the regular tomato sauce that I've been making. It's just citric acid or lemon juice in a jar with unseasoned tomato sauce. And doing this is sometimes really good because the water will separate from the tomatoes and I'm able to just kind of dump some of that out before I add it to the pot. I add all the jars to the stock pot here and get that cooked down. Still using our electric water bath canner. I've got it preheated. I've got all of the jars washed, lids and bands ready to go. I have jar grippers, a funnel, and the bubble tool, and lemon juice. Once the sauce is cooked down, I start to get the jars ready. I'm just adding a couple tablespoons of lemon juice to each quart-sized jar before I pour the sauce in. get those in the water bath canner for 40 minutes. Once that's done, I let them rest for a little bit. And move them over to cool. They'll be there overnight, but at this point, I believe we were leaving for a camping trip, so they stayed there until we got back from our trip. Must have been after we got back from our trip. I had to go through and sort all of the stuff that we harvested. That is how everything was looking at that point, and we're super grateful for everything that we were able to harvest from the garden this year. We're still getting harvest from the garden, and I'm still canning up stuff, so we will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!